what is up, PPL fans? Shoutout here, coach of Bayern Munich, and welcome to PPL Season 5, Week 3. This week, we're against Jack, or better Jack, Electron252, and his Melbourne victory star. His link will be in the description below. Make sure to check him out. As always, he's a fantastic guy. His commentary is very, very good. He's a great player, and I highly encourage you to check him out. I've known him for God knows how many years now, and he's a pretty chill dude. Other links in the description should be the Jenna, that's Joe who jenned my team, as well as Blaze Shoutout who recorded my match, so just thank both of you very much. As well as all the PPL links and Ryquin for the beautiful layout, so you can check out PPL links to the fan Discord. You can be my fan because I'm the greatest. You can buy a shirt in our shop. You can subscribe to YouTube and follow Twitter and all that stuff. And yeah, let's just get into the matchup. So if you want to know what I'm bringing, there's a link to team builder in the description down below as well. We'll just go over it real quickly. We have a max Spreadsheet assault by Skuntank with a ton of speed. We have an adamant choice bandit Aerodactyl. We have a very, very bulky Megazord X with like max HP, impish nature, some Spreadsheet, some speed. It's very, very cool. We have a speedy First Dev Seismitoad with Rocky Helmet, Stealth Rocks, and all the like. We have a choice bandit Dog Trio as well. And we have a speedy Spreadsheet Rachi. So everything has speed because gotta go fast, and that's my draft. My fast thing, my slow thing is Seismitoad. So that's fun. As you can see, Jack decided to bring, or Clover, as Jack and I are two with female avatars, despite us not being female. He brought Scizor, Tapu Bulu, Silvally, Taurus, Latios, and Lantern. Little bit surprised to see Lantern. Very much surprised not to see the Heatran. I thought that was it was very, very likely to come because it's only Stealth Rocker, and this means my Zard is very much free. Not only do you just click Flare Blitz because I don't care about Lantern, I can like hard into my Dog Trio on it, expecting a T-Wave and then just kill it if I really, really want to. My Seismitoad unfortunately doesn't have Water Absorb because I didn't expect Lantern to come. I felt like Poison Touch to get a knockoff Poison on something like Latios would be more helpful. But that kinda sucks. But yeah, now Heatran is super duper nice for me, so I don't have to worry about it having a balloon and me having to break it like I did in some of my mocks, which was a huge problem to me. And in the end probably cost me some of those games. Seeing Silvally there makes me think it's probably Silvally Psychic or Ghost for Medicham, or Silvally Rock to deal with my Zardex, or something of the like. Silvally Ground maybe, but that's a lot less likely in my opinion. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. I'm going to click the play button and we'll see how this goes. I'm going to lead off with my Skuntank, as that was my lead pretty much all my mocks, because I'm expecting him to respect my Seismitoad lead, so he can lead Bulu or Latios and I can kind of counteract that. So we are challenged by Pokemon Trainer Clover, and as I said, well, he's going to lead off with his Scizor, and that's beautiful as a lead with Skuntank. So first turn I can click Pursuit because he's not staying in. However, I've been burned before by expecting people to know Skuntank's speed. Shroomraver, and of course Jack isn't as stupid as Shroomin switches out, so I just go for the same Flamethrower. Should click Pursuit, would have looked cool and would have gotten some good damage off on the Scizor, but doesn't really matter. I get to scout this Lantern set, see if it's Assault Vest or anything. This tells me it definitely has Spreadsheet investment, because if it had none, I think Flamethrower would have done enough to not put it out of leftovers range. So since my Zard isn't Mega Evolved yet and my Seismitoad is a likely switch and he might pretty good HP Grass, I'm just gonna stay in. Go for the Poison Jab, hope for Poison, get the Poison beautifully enough, as he does go for the HP Grass, and he's going to do 7 HP as you will see in a sec. So I did 13 with the Flamethrower, he did 7 with the HP Grass. Huge amount of damage, huge amounts of damage being dealt here, and I still really have a good switch into the Lantern, which is a very, very sad thing to say, but and Skuntank can eat its hits like it's absolutely nothing because I am max Spreadsheet Assault Vest. So I'm just going to fire another Poison Jab, weaken the thing a little bit more and get it down as he goes for the Scald. I'm hoping that he doesn't get the burn. Unfortunately though, he does get the burn, which is fair because I got the poison. I'm not going to complain. I stayed in, I risked it, complaining would be very, very silly there. But yeah, so Skuntank's burned now, which means it's very, very weak and is not going to do any damage to anything ever. But that's fine. I'm going to click Poison Jab again. I want to weaken this Lantern, get rid of it, because it might just be a little annoying later on in the game. It's a good way of him to get recall damage off on my Zard if he switches into a Flare Blitz. So, and nothing would take a Poison Jab out of the Scizor, which I can still take a Bull Punch from. So, Silvally comes in, I go for the Poison Jab. Maybe I can get a Poison on this, that would be lovely. And I do. So we're 3 for 3 with the 30% chances, which, you know, in Pokemon is like 70%. And this is a normal Savali, as you can see. This is very, very good to know, because this means it's not an answer to Zardex. If I had Medicham, that would be nice, but it's not there, so it's unfortunate. And I'm just going to go into my Tien, knowing I can take any normal type move. And since I have a ton of speed, I'm expecting to outspeed the thing. However, his return is going to crit me and actually do a fair amount because of that, and I'm going to U-turn out here, hoping that he is slower. I can go into something like Mazard or whatever else on a crunch and just kind of go from there. Turns out though he has a ton of speed in this ability, which makes sense. I was just kind of hopeful that I would outspeed it, and he brings me down very, very low, which makes Latios a huge threat because my Splafrachi is low and my Skuntank is burned, so Lati is looking very scary. DD Ladi actually just kind of wins now, so I kind of have to worry about that. Dugtray comes in with the wrong nickname, my Jenna kind of messed it up, no big deal. But I can just trap the Savali, and there's no way he's going to be Shed Shell normal Savali, that doesn't make much sense. I'm going to knock the thing out with the Choice Bandit Earthquake, and Dougie gets its second kill of the season, and we don't have to worry about the Savali anymore because it is very annoying. However, he can just bring in his Tapu Bulu now, and unfortunately I'm Bandit and not Z Sludge Wave as I meant to bring initially, so I'm going to have to switch out here. And knowing that my Skuntank outspeeds this unless it's Scarf, I'm just going to go into that. If he goes for a Wood Hammer over Hone Leech, then he's going to take a fair amount of recall, especially with the Aftermath damage as well, so that's going to be beautiful. However, he goes for the sub. Thankfully, Stab 4 times effective Poison Jab is still enough to break us up, even if he's like fully for his death. So I can just stay and go for Poison Jab, see what the thing set is. Maybe he's like sub bulk up or anything of the sort. That would be a little scary, because my team is entirely physical this week. I think. Is it? Yeah, pretty sure it is. So, yeah, gonna go for the Poison Jab here on the Substitute Break That, and he's gonna go for the Leech CT in a second. And that's a little annoying because Skuntank has high HP, which means the things that come in on his end are going to recover a fair amount of HP, but I am uninvested, so not that much. And also there's Grassy Terrain, and things will get recovery, and it's not a pretty time. This turn he's obviously switching, but he's still not switching into Scizor because Flamethrower is very much a possible play here, and even if it isn't, I can still take a Bull Punch from his range unless he's Choice Bandit. So he's switching. I could click Pursuit, but it's going to do like 2 HP, and there's literally no point. So I'm just going to fire on that Poison Jab. If he switches into something that can still get poisoned, that would be cool, but no. He goes into his Lantern, letting that get take a little bit more damage, and with the Leech Seed and the Grassy Terrain, it's going to recover. It's not going to do anything because I'm burned, and life is a little sad right now. But yeah, again, I can't switch into my Toad because he has already shown HP Grass. Plus, I don't have Water Absorb, and I don't want to get Scald Burned on that thing, or take any damage for that matter, really. Excuse me. So I'm expecting this thing to have a Volt Switch as a last move, as well as then T-Wave, because otherwise Zardex just kind of says hi and sets up on it, so I'm definitely expecting T-Wave. I know I have a Tapu Fini, but still I feel like just having it just in case the terrain isn't up would be nice. So there's a lot of after turn effects this game, it's mildly annoying, but Zebo's gonna have to go down as I go for a Poison Jab. However, he goes for the Volt Switch, so you know, that's cool. I can see what he goes into. And Lantern is still very, very low as he goes into Clamps to Scizor, and maybe he doesn't go for Bullet Punch and I can kill him with the Flamethrower. You know, that'd be cool. If I wasn't burned, then I guess I would be able to kill this here, and he wouldn't have gone into it in the first place. So like, you know, whatever. I'm gonna be down really low, and he's gonna go for the Bullet Punch and knock me out. However, I do get Aftermath damage off, and I think that's very nice. Skuntank has put in a fair amount of work, poisoning one annoyance in the Lantern and one big threat in Silvally, and got damage off on the Scizor. So thank you very much, Zebo, putting the team on its back as per usual, and now I can just bring in my Zardex. And I have the option of going for a DD, of course. However, if he's like a natural give ground variant, which I feel like is very, very likely because I have a Zardex, which otherwise just completely hits up all over the thing, I don't want to take that because that's going to do a ton. I'm going to be low, and I just don't want to fuck with it. So I'm going to just Mega up and go for the Flare Blitz. As it turns out, he stacks his Lantern, so if I DD there, I would have been in a phenomenal position. But he could also still be like Scarf Latios, and I don't want to fuck with that. So go for the Flare Blitz on the Lantern. Unfortunately, after we see this beautiful animation, he's gonna live on like 1, 2, 3 HP, something like that, and not die to Flare Blitz. In fact, he's going to die to the poison here from Skunting. So Skunting gets a kill from the grave. That is always appreciated. And we're in with Zard, and we can see what his answer is. It's probably going to be Latios. And that's another reason why DDing would be nice, because I would know if he's Scarf or not. Now he just goes to Latios, and I am spooked. I don't have Dragon Step on the Zard, as after like a DD or two I just kill Latios anyway, plus I have 3 Pursuit Trappers on this team, so yeah, I'm going to take off my Duck Trio here as it does nothing, and if he goes for Draco as he does, he's going to go to -2 and I can just kind of go from there. And Dougie is just going to get annihilated by the Draco Meteor, of course. So the incorrectly named Duck Trio goes down. It still traps the valley and, you know, was a threat there. And now I can go into Aerodactyl and I click Pursuit. 100%. Unless he specs, he's not staying in. If he specs, oh well, I'm a bad player. But I still tweak him with a Pursuit and I live one. So, go for the Pursuit. He switches out. Pursuit comes in. Adamant, Max Attack, Choice Bandit. Latios goes down. And the biggest threat is gone. Outside of the Taurus, which I still haven't Sabotage for. So, that thing goes down. That's beautiful. He can bring in Scissor though. I don't like it. But I don't want him to get initiative on my Zard and get chip damage off him and that. I'm going to go into Jirachi and sack it off here, as I don't think I can get a wish off on anything from this range because I don't have Protect. So, Tian's going to go down. Our captain, it did a thing, I guess. It took a hit from Savali, 2 hits. I guess that's cool. What a crit, and maybe I would have been able to keep it, but you know. He brings in his Taurus and I bring in my Seismitoad. Yeah, I see that Pursuit was a roll. I think it was 68% was investment because I think it's 76 HP, and that's a roll. So I'm going to Toad. I'm going to click Knock Off because I want to get rid of the things Life Orb or Choice Scarf. However, I should have probably definitely gone for the Sludge Bomb, as if he was Life Orb Taurus, he had a very low chance of 2-killing me. And he was very likely to just switch out and not risk that. So he goes into Bulu, I go for Knock Off, get rid of his Cabia Berry, which is very nice because I am carrying Sludge Bomb on the thing, which I am just going to go for. Hope to knock it out. If he isn't max HP, I will kill him. Turns out I do outspeed, which is very nice. And he also lives because he's like a max HP Bulu. If I had Sludge Wave, I might have been able to kill him. But I have Sludge Bomb over Sludge Wave because the rolls barely change and I can get poisons on things. So yeah, unfortunately he doesn't overpredict as I was kind of expecting him to. Maybe Sub or Stone Edge there, and he gets a ton of health back from the Horn Leech because Sabotage's HP stack is gigantic, and he knocks me out. So now I go into my Aerodactyl. This is a bit of a misplay because I think I can just go into Aerodactyl, get a Stone Edge kill. If I go into Zard and this thing has offensive investment, he kills me. I don't want to fuck with that. I can't DD on this, and then he just goes into Taurus and I lose to Scarf Rock Slide. So I don't want to do that. Instead I'm going to Aerodactyl, hope that I can kill the thing, hope it lives because this is max defense Boo, and I'm very sad because that's an Adamant Choice Bandit Stone Edge and it didn't do enough. And he gets the Horn Leech back. I surprisingly lived that. He gets the Grassy Terrain back. I go for another Stone Edge, and this should kill. I hit, which is beautiful, and he lives on 2 HP, and I'm pretty sure that was a roll. I don't know if it was in my favor. It was definitely a roll, and I'm a little sad. Aerodactyl goes down, and now it's Zard against the world. However, now that I know that this thing is physically defensive, I know that a Stone Edge will not 2-kill my Zard. The max roll is 50%, I'm pretty sure. So, or 51. I can go into Zard, I can DD up, and I can take the hits from Taurus. If he is Scarf, he will outspeed me, but I can take an Earthquake like it's nothing. Especially if Aggressive Strain is still up at that point. If he goes into, if he isn't Scarf, I just outspeed him and I kill him at +1. So he goes for his Stone Edge, hoping to do a ton of damage. However, that does nothing. Look at that, eating it up. That's a Tapu Bulu, and Zard just doesn't care. Got the Grass Turn Recovery, which is beautiful. And now I'm just gonna do some boosting. The Grass Terrain disappears, which is suboptimal. I would have loved if he had like the Terrain Extender item, but you know. I'm gonna lose up. He's gonna miss his launch eventually, or crit me. This is what it comes down to. Does he crit me? Does he miss? If he misses, I win. Unfortunately for me, he hits, but you know, prefer to not have any hex. He doesn't crit me either, so we're still in the game. I'm gonna roost up again, as he's gonna go hard into his Taurus. Bit of a risky play at his end, but definitely worked out because I wasn't gonna flip it there, and I get back to full now. At this point in time, if he goes into Scizor, I lose. However, I didn't realize it during the game, someone that didn't click in my head. Thankfully, he turns out to be Scarf, and he goes for the Earthquake. The reason I didn't DD again was if he was Life Orb, I would have taken so much damage to a point where, after Flareblitz recoil, Bull Punch could have, or would have probably killed me from the scissors, so I'm just gonna go for the Flabits, knock out this Taurus, get a crit. Obviously doesn't matter, I'm a +1 Zardex, Taurus isn't gonna live that. And if he's Adamant Choice Bandit Scissor, he has a chance to kill me with Bull Punch. He doesn't go into Scissor, he's not Adamant Choice Bandit, and now it comes down to me not getting crit by Stone Edge. So, Bulu comes in, I'm gonna go for the Roost here and try to get back to full health, because otherwise I'm going to die to recoil and or the Bull Punch from the Scissor. As it turns out, he goes for the Leech Seed and misses. Now that didn't matter. I think his play was 100% Stone Edging there because he had a chance to crit me, and that was the only way of winning at this point. But you know, that happens. And I'm just going to flip it twice and win the game from here, because that's what Zard does. So, GG Jack, that was a very intense game. I was really worried at the end that he would crit me or that something would get fucked. I would get fucked over by something. Thankfully that wasn't the case, and we come out with the W as Scissor comes in as the last Pokemon. And even if he's like Fizz Def Ockerberry, he's not gonna live this. He goes for the Bull Punch, last ditch effort, and that does approximately 0. And the Flabit is just gonna knock it the hell out, and Zard picks up 3 kills, 3.5. This Lantern, and we win 1-0 over the Melbourne Victory Star. GG Jack, that was a fantastic game. Thoroughly enjoyed that. And yeah, again, definitely make sure to check out Jack. As I said, it was a really good game. Very much enjoyed it. One of my favorite PPL games I ever had. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Now I want to talk about the Zard play at the end a little bit more as we move on to Tune 1. +2, I think? Yeah, +2. Yeah, +2. It was Taurus, Zard, and Taurus, Scizor, and Bulu left. Taurus was in, I was a +1. I didn't know whether he was Scarf or Life Orb. I could not tell. So I didn't want to go for the second DD, because if it was Life Orb it would do way too much damage, and from there I would just lose. And he didn't want to go into Scizor because I could just DD again, expecting him to be Scarf, and then he would just straight lose. So it was a bit of a 50-50 kind of play that didn't really register in my mind at the time. That he even had the option of going into Scizor and just giving me a ton of recoil, and then me being in range for the Earthquake from the Taurus. So that didn't really click in my mind. But you know what? It's fine. It was a toss-up play. Either way, I was considering Dragon Dancing, but I realized Taurus with Life Orb would just do way too much damage, and Life Orb Taurus was very much a good bring against my team, as I didn't have a good switch into it at all. So definitely think it was possible. I also never got to find out whether Latios was Scarf or not, so I kind of was thinking maybe that was Scarf and Taurus was Life Orb. So I had no idea of knowing, no way of knowing. So yeah, that was a little bit of a hard play, especially in hindsight to look at it as like, okay, that was a 50-50, but at the time it wasn't really, as I think my only play was Flabitzing at that point. So, I think it was another play, yeah. If I would have DD'd early game with Zard on the Scizor, I would have just won. I could have DD'd again on Lantern because he didn't have T-Wave. I wouldn't have done it. I 100% wouldn't have done that. But if I DD'd again there, I would have just won the game, I'm pretty sure. Because at +2, I think I kill Latios with the Flabits. I could be wrong. But I also don't think he would switch that in necessarily at that point, because he doesn't know if would I have Ground Step or Dragon Step or not. So that is kind of an interesting play that I could have done. But again, I didn't want to risk like a natural gift ground crit or something like that. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Also didn't want to risk him U-turning out into a Scarfer and Scarf Latios specifically, and then just killing me. So I think Flabits was my play at that point. In hindsight, you know, I could have just kind of sort of won there, but that's with me actually knowing his Lantern set now. Now we have this fourth move was Protect. So yeah, I could have just kind of won there, but I didn't. That's fine. We still win. It was a very intense game. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And yeah, next week we go up against the PPL Fauna, the non-fanatic, the other Jack, and that's gonna be a fun one because if there's any person I enjoy shit talking, it is Jack. But he has a very cool team this season. and he has been doing pretty well so far, and it's gonna be a fun one for sure. And we're gonna try our best to go 3-1 because 2-2 just doesn't sound that good, does it? No, I don't think it does. We're gonna try to win that, and yeah, I think that's all I have. MVP for this week is obviously gonna be Zard because Jesus Christ, I think he pulled the game out of its ass by just being the fattest motherfucker on earth. Love you, Zardex, the best Pokemon ever. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you all for watching. Again, make sure to check out Jack and all the other links in the description below. Highly encourage you to do so. And with that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, leave some newts. I will appreciate all three of those. And hopefully, see you guys next time. Goodbye.